Thanks for checking out today's video. Today is Hive inspection number 5. I cannot believe that I have already had these little lady bees for 5 weeks now. A lot has happened in that 5 weeks, and I feel like every week that goes by, I do learn a little bit more, but I still have a long way to go. As usual, during this inspection, I am just going to be going through frame by frame and looking for signs of the queen, some eggs, some larvae, or if I get lucky, I'll actually spot the queen herself. This hive did swarm a couple of weeks ago, maybe almost 3 weeks ago now, and there were new queen cells in there. I did hear the pipping and the honking, so I'm assuming that the new queen has hatched. I do not know if she has made it out on her mating flight as of yet, but hopefully we'll be able to determine some of that as we go through the hive. So just have to get the smoker lit, get all my tools over to the bee area, and we'll get going. They have been going through a ton of sugar water. One of the lessons that I have learned is that I don't want to refill the sugar water the day before I know I'm going to do a hive inspection. This is a small hive beetle trap that I place between the frames, and there are only a couple of beetles in it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the box when I'm done because I did find some larvae in the sugar water feeder. Now, this is my second brood box. I did go ahead and switch things up a bit. They were not using this second box. So I took some of the frames from the original box and put them in here, and it's looking like that actually worked. They are on some of these other frames. So let's just check it out. Even though there's not a lot going on these outside frames, I still just want to look and be really careful to see if I spot that queen in here anywhere. I did also prepare a super with some frames just in case I felt like I needed to add the honey super today, but my gut's telling me not quite time yet. Again, seeing some pollen and some nectar, some capped honey. have to say, the smell of the smoker never gets any more enjoyable. Ugh. Oh, that one's really heavy. So as far as getting the bees to move up, I feel like I probably did make the right choice in kind of checkerboarding these frames and putting some new ones up top. They have started to utilize it. My hope is that they will start using this top box for their food stores, and that would give the queen more room to lay eggs. So they're just starting to build this one up. Again, just seeing nectar, a little bit of capped honey on this one. For a new frame, this one is crazy heavy as well. Lots of new comb on this new frame. I will say, when I got started, I purchased these pieces of foundation that were pre-waxed. I did not learn until after I had installed everything and put bees in that most people suggest and recommend that you go ahead and add an additional layer of wax, which I did not do. Maybe they would have started building up sooner than what they did had I done that on this second brood box. I just don't know. Now, this could be tricky picking this guy up. Now we're down to the original brood box. I did put a small hive beetle trap in this box as well, and there were only a couple of beetles in this one, like in the upper box. So they are starting to build this one out just a tiny bit. Only on one side though. That's a lot of bees. So keep in mind, this is after my hive has already swarmed once. just getting the bees out of the way for minutes so that hopefully you can see all of the pollen stores in there. I also have, again, some queen cells on the bottom. Each one of them is open. Whew, the sweat situation is real right now. We do have one capped queen cell on this, and there were 2 uncapped. And as I suspected, so far I'm not seeing any larvae, eggs, anything that indicates that this new queen is mated yet. I'm removing all of the empty queen cells, and I did leave the capped one. As you can see, these guys are a little bit buzzier today than they've ever been before. This one we do have a queen cell, but it's open in the center. I cannot tell if there's any larvae in it. I do not think there is, but I'm gonna leave it anyway. Okay, so hive inspection number 5 is done, and I'm not quite sure what to think. As I anticipated, there was no new larvae, no eggs, not that I could see them anyway, and I did not spot the queen. There was 0 capped brood. They did have a lot of capped and uncapped honey, lots of pollen stores, and lots of nectar. So I'm just going to go and do some bee math, because if they did hatch a new queen, it does take a number of days for her to go on mating flights, get that part of the program taken care of, and come back and start laying eggs. So right now, I'm a little clueless, maybe a lot clueless, and debating if I should try to buy a mated queen. I'm open to suggestions. Anybody who has any logical idea, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one. Bye.